If I don't work, I'm not valuable. Feeling the emotion of not being valuable, so you fall into this false compensation of having to overwork. When you do all the tasks, you feel like the fucking man, right? But you're paying the price because you're going to burn out for that eventually. You can't just work all the time. Now, when I say ego, most people think like, oh, I don't think I'm better than anybody. I've not got an ego, man. What do you mean? We actually need our ego, okay? We wouldn't be able to navigate in this world without our ego. So the masculine energy in terms of the ego can actually be conceptualized as the light. So we've got the light and the dark, okay? The law of opposites, the law of polarity. Again, I'm not touching the bookshelf for the book, okay? So you end up comparing yourself and falling out of the unity of the oneness, yeah, of consciousness between everybody. You think that you're better than people, you think that people are better than you, so there's a separation there. And if you lose connection with the light and lose connection with the feminine energy, then you end up falling into fear. And if we go into creating, do things that help grow your identity. How are we doing? And welcome back to the Gritflow YouTube channel. Today we are focusing on the spiritual purpose of the ego. So the ego is used as a tool. Now when I say ego, most people think like, oh, I don't think I'm better than anybody. I've not got an ego, man. What do you mean? It's a tool for spiritual advancement. It's a tool for spiritual advancement that allows you to navigate the world, okay? Allows you to navigate the world. And you navigate the world by creating how God creates. Creating how God creates. And if we go into creating how God creates, okay, that is the law of mentalism. The law of mentalism. I spoke about this in the last video where the trusty bookshelf completely annihilated and fell and smashed on the floor. So I'm not going to go and grab the Kybalion in case it happens again, okay? But this is from the Kybalion, okay? The law of mentalism states that everything is mental. The external is a reflection of the internal. So to create like God, okay, we actually need our ego, okay? We wouldn't be able to navigate in this world without our ego. So a lot of spiritual people, a lot of high vibration, high frequency people, they like to demonize the tool. They like to demonize the ego. And if you're demonizing something that you actually need and you can't express yourself without it, what do you think is going to happen? So within the duality of the ego, we've got multiple dualities here, okay? We've of course got the masculine, and of course we have the feminine. So the masculine energy in terms of the ego can actually be conceptualized as the light. So we've got the light and the dark, okay? The law of opposites, the law of polarity. Again, I'm not touching the bookshelf for the book, okay? So over here, you can think of the masculine as the dark and the feminine as the light. Very similar to the moon and the sun, okay? The masculine, the dark energy, wants you to separate, right? So it's like a separation thing, okay? It tempts you to vibrate lower. And the dark masculine side of the ego tempts you to vibrate lower by thinking that things are above or below, by better or worse, okay? So you end up comparing yourself and falling out of the unity of the oneness, yeah, of consciousness between everybody. You think that you're better than people, you think that people are better than you, so there's a separation there, okay? So if you can feel that, there is work that needs done here, okay? There's work that needs done. And when you feel this separation and this kind of ego, I'm better, they're better, I'm worse, they're worse, when you feel that come in, that's when you can just, yet again, have the awareness to simply stop that. Yeah, you can have the awareness to simply stop that. Another element of this as well is when you are vibrating lower and you're separating yourself from people and you are in a more reactive state. Another element of this as well is it makes you feel insignificant because you're always in a state of comparison and reactivity and judgment, yeah? So that's what this tries to get you to do, okay? Now we'll move on to the light and the feminine side of things. The feminine, again, is the identity. It is the protector. It is the discern. Because the feminine emotion is the collective energy, okay? So that's the love, that's the union, that's the me and you're the exact same, despite my name being Matthew. I look differently, I sound differently. But at core, me and you are just consciousness. I'll absolutely love you unconditionally. And that is the feminine energy, yeah? So it's the unity with that love, with the union. And if you lose connection with the light and lose connection with the feminine energy, then you end up falling into fear. Yeah, like I discussed in the last video. So this definitely correlates as well. Now the ego cycle, okay, what people go through, what I see a bunch of my clients go through recently, so I absolutely wanted to share this with you, is if I don't work, I'm not valuable. If I don't work, I'm not valuable, okay? So this belief comes from your ego. This ego then drives behaviors. If I don't work, I'm not valuable. So that is a belief which is attached to your ego. Your ego is linked to the fear aspect of things, which then becomes behaviors. Now it becomes behaviors. Why? So it doesn't need to feel. And it becomes behaviors. Why? Because it doesn't want to feel the emotion. So what it ends up doing is, because it doesn't want you to feel the emotion that you're trying to avoid by not working, it gives you this false compensation. Now the false compensation, funnily enough, is overworking. Is doing all your tasks and then feeling very good. Is feeling very successful after all your tasks are done. So you feel productive. You feel amazing after working all day and getting all the tasks done. That feels really good, okay? But then what ends up happening is, from this false compensation, you end up paying the price via burnout. Because the quality of the work decreases. And I'm sure you know exactly what I mean here. If I don't work, I'm not valuable, yeah? You're fearful of the emotion that you might feel if you don't actually do the work, which then becomes unconscious behaviors, okay? So the behaviors, and which then becomes behaviors, and these unconscious behaviors are protecting you from actually feeling the emotion of not being valuable. So you fall into this false compensation of having to overwork. When you do all the tasks, you feel like the fucking man, right? But you're paying the price because you're going to burn out for that eventually. You can't just work all the time, as we've discovered. So the quality of the work drops. And think about it. You've got your family, you've got your health, you've got your wealth, you've got relationships, yeah? And you end up paying the price in every single area of that. And paying the price isn't just via the burnout and the quality of the work that you're doing, okay? It actually falls into all other areas of your life as well. Like, think about it. You've got family life, you've got your relationships, you've got your health as well, yeah? So if you think about all of them, you're actually neglecting that as well. So how to actually reprogram the ego, okay? So your ego is the protection, yeah? It wants to feel safe. It doesn't want to die. So the ego will create behaviors to then, in fact, keep you safe. The behaviors may be procrastination. They may be, say, screaming in arguments. And it could even be the way that you approach things. Now, the ego is directly linked to the fear, okay? Which is your inner child, really. And your inner child and this fear, all of these have been made up by the time you are age 7. So all of your unconscious fears. So all of your learned fears come from your inner child, which you have made up by the time you are 7 years old, okay? So that could be things like how receptive you are, how sensitive you are, how rational that you might be. So then when your ego actually kicked in, okay, and it started to reflect on these past things, it was like, yeah, fuck feeling like that again, okay? So when you were a child and you went through your childhood, your subconscious mind was taking note of everything that happened. So when your ego actually came in at 7 years old, it was looking back like, yeah, patch going through that, through any of that again. We don't want to do that. So then it creates behaviors to then keep you safe, okay? So when your inner child kicked in, it was like, I don't want to do that again or go through that. So as I've said, it then creates these behaviors to then keep you safe. Now let's talk about the feminine, okay, and the heart energy. Okay, so this is the heart energy. Take this like the service, okay? And it is connected to the higher consciousness. Connected to higher consciousness, connected to the higher collective. You are connected to a higher purpose, a higher sense of self. So within this feminine connection with the heart, being connected to the higher collective, having a better sense and presence of God and self, you're really trying to balance the love energy between yourself and other people, and really discerning between what you actually want and what you don't want. And again, what's right and then what's wrong. Of course, going after all the things that you desire in this life and in your desired reality, but without letting your intentions come from a negative place, from a bad place. So it's literally all from love, okay? And last but not least, finding yourself. I didn't mean to remove the title of how to reprogram your ego. This is still what I'm talking about, okay? So finding yourself. And what I mean by finding yourself is you have your heart, which is linked to your identity, and your identity leads to your life and reality. Okay, the type of reality and life that you're experiencing. Your heart leads to your intuition, okay? People feel it in their heart, people feel it in their gut, yeah? That intuition, the inner teaching, okay? If you think about your identity, okay, I want you to do things that align with you. Like, do things that help grow your identity, okay? So like, if you have a spark of motivation, act upon it. Motivation, act. Yeah, if you got a spark of motivation, go and act upon it. For example, if in your heart, guitar feels good, it feels good to listen to guitar, go book some lessons, yeah? Go act upon it, get it out of the internal and make it external, yeah? If you like the way piano sounds, go learn how to play piano, do something. If you really like looking at art, why don't you go learn how to draw? Something that will build and grow your identity, to make you more you. And it's all about making these things, yeah, and it's really all about making it external. So it's not sitting in the internal. And too many people go through life having so many desires without acting upon them. Yeah, because they're letting they're letting their intuitions of being a successful guitarist, being a successful pianist, being a successful businessman, yeah, being a successful agency owner, anything. They're letting the intuition, they're letting it go to their head and they're scrambling it, and they're not acting upon these sparks of motivation that will grow their identity. Yeah, because we want to make these desires come into life as quickly as possible. So therefore we need to think and have the intuition, and then we need to act. And the quicker that we can close the time on this, much better. The last two videos I've done on YouTube have been relatively similar in terms of the masculine and feminine energy. Next video is going to be completely different. I really just wanted to drive some of these points home because they're super important, and they've genuinely changed my life when I've applied these and focused and been aware of what energy I'm currently in, and then how to come to a nice duality balance of 50-50, and now I am creating reality with ease. I'm a money magnet, and success is genuinely falling at my feet left, right and centre. So I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for you. I absolutely love you to bits. Thanks for watching the videos. Thanks for supporting. Thanks for showing up. If you want to book a one-to-one call with me and figure out exactly how we turn your ideas and thoughts into reality by using the masculine and feminine energies, by using the Hermetic principles, by using trance work, then please get in contact with me via the booking link in the description, and I will be in contact personally. I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.